All right, guys, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you guys so much for waiting patiently, as always, for the intro to finish up. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's Tuesday, July 14th. Officially been 2 weeks. 2 weeks. What is going on, guys? Michael says, let's get this party started. It's a party to him. It's a party. Michael, thank you for being here. Welcome, everybody. Right off the bat, we have Vlund with a $10 super chat. Vlund, thank you so much for that. He says they're killing physical games first, then digital libraries later. Once AI lets players craft any custom game they desire, bypassing mediocre devs. Companies are cashing in big now before AI takes over. That's definitely an interesting viewpoint, Blonde. I mean, we've talked about that a few times on the channel, like the future of AI in gaming and what it will do in terms of game development, right? And how, more importantly, these corporations are going to leverage it for their own gain, you know, in the name of profitability. And that's definitely an interesting take. I didn't really think of it from that perspective. But yeah, taking out physical first, eventually down the line, digital libraries. I mean, yeah, I could see it going that way, Vlond. I mean, it's so cynical, you know. It's so cynical and so dystopian. But, oh yeah. Hold on. For some reason, I don't know why my member goal isn't up. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I got to reset that. But yes, guys, if you want to support the channel and support the content, there are a couple of ways in which you can do that. You can become a channel member. All right. You can gift memberships. You can drop a super chat like Vlund, or you can drop a direct donation. These are all ways in which you can support the channel directly. I can only do what I do here because of you guys. You make it possible. So thank you to everybody who supports. And while you're at it, make sure you hit that like button. Okay, hitting the like button lets me know you enjoy the streams, and it helps with YouTube's algorithm. So thank you all so much for the continued support. Irfan, I'll try to remember. Yeah, remind me at the end of the stream. And we have Ray. Metal Gear Ray comes in. I did it again. God dang it. Just pretend it said 5. I'm sorry. I gotta get another one of those that says 5. But Ray, he comes in. Let me see if I can. Ray's telling you to do it. That's what he's saying. He's saying drop your member gifts.
You said tomorrow, so
get a train going. Thank you, Ray. I really do appreciate that. I will add that to the counter here.
Do it.
If we hit 25, we'll feed the beast. You know how we do it. And we have Soyu, aka Mr. Hamster, saying return my disc, or you might see the god MBG once was. Damn, we got straight up like Kratos quotes for game discs, man. Thank you for that, Soyu. That's a good one. And we also have a $10 super chat from Makwi Ninja. He says, after much thought and smoke last night, I think I solved Sony's plan. Hip Hop leaked that the PS6 will have Steam on PS6, which didn't make any sense to me until now. Offering Steam on PlayStation will allow options. That is interesting that you bring that up. Yeah, we don't really talk about Hip Hop Gamer that often on the channel. He does pop up sporadically, though. It is really interesting to think that he did say that, and at the time, and I still feel this way, like Makwi Ninja, it is true what you're saying. If somehow the PlayStation 6 offered Steam, if by some, I don't know, some kind of insane turn of events, that would solve almost all the problems they're currently running into. And Michael Werneth, membership, you better hit the like button because this is a party. Werneth comes in and he drops 20 member gifts onto you guys. So Ray dropped 5, and then Michael dropped the 20 and immediately crushes our goal today. Boss was here a moment ago. He just has no patience anymore. Boss comes in here before the stream even starts, being like, "So, where are my treats?" It's like, dude, I didn't even start streaming yet. But Michael, thank you so much for that, man. That's huge. So let me add that to the counter. And, like I tell you guys, if you want to go beyond 25, please feel encouraged to do so. It definitely helps. Let me, Papa got his greenies. I'm, it's party time. Papa's excited. I'm going to give him his first. Here we go. Here we go. Papa, you can thank Michael Werneth and Ray for that. God, he's such a huge cat, but he'll only eat the greenies. Thank you guys so much for the support. Really appreciate it. And yeah, continue to hit that like button. We're almost at 50 likes. Boss is here. Just wait a few minutes, boss. When Papa's done, I'll here. Just wait your turn. It is. It's a cat party now. Papa and Boss get along pretty well. They're good to each other. They're just like two fat cats that are like, we just want food, man. We just want more treats. That was quick. Yep, it's your turn. It's your turn. Here you go. All right. There we go. The cats are happy. Well, at least Boss and Papa are. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. I get some more people joining the stream. Do I think the PlayStation 6 will have Discord integrated day one? You would hope so. You might need to get support beams installed in the cat tower. I think this is the strongest cat. This has to be the strongest cat tower I have. I have a couple others that are a little bit loose. This one's pretty solid, though. So I don't think we'll have to worry about that with this one. That's why I chose to go with this one. Before I move on, though, we have to give a shout out to Thorhander Gaming, who decided to renew their membership and actually at a higher tier as well. So Thorhander Gaming, thank you so much for that, buddy. I'm going to add that to the goal as well. And you guys are off to a very hot start. Boss, what's going on, dude? I don't think he likes these treats. I got to get new treats for Boss. MBG, I just bought a Steam Deck. My first game, Zero Parade's Dead Spies. Well, congrats, Laman. Congrats on that, bro. I just want to go back to what Makui Ninja said real quick, because I feel like I didn't get to give my full answer. Makui Ninja was saying that he thinks he knows maybe what Sony's plan is with the PlayStation 6 and this whole situation. He was referring to Hip Hop Gamer, who a while ago said that the PlayStation 6, which is crazy for him to say this, but he said that the PlayStation 6 is going to ship with it's going to ship with Steam available on it. And I can't deny that would solve quite a few problems. Thank you for that, Irfan. Resident Evil 1 Remake started pre-production around August, September of last year. RE1 Remake, that's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing, though. I don't believe Steam will be available on the PlayStation 6. It would solve, all of Sony's problems in terms of, the scrutiny that they're under right now and the pressure that they're facing, but it comes at such a significant cost to them, where it's I just don't see it happen. The only way I see Steam being available on the PlayStation 6 is if the law basically forces it. Unless Sony has literally no choice. As long as Sony has a choice, I don't think there's any chance they'll do that. But there is no denying if for some reason they decide to do that, kind of like what we heard with Project Helix, it would alleviate so much of this. They would be able to just kind of skate on by, because it would allow for more options. But we got a couple things we're going to be covering today. I see somebody's asking me. Yeah, so I'm okay right now. I'm not in a lot of pain, just a little bit, just normal pain. We'll see how the stream progresses. If I got to sit down, I'll sit down. Tomorrow, I'm going to get the results of my MRI, and I'll report back to you guys and let you know what's said. I haven't been able to look at it myself yet, so I have no idea. I'll know after tomorrow. Tomorrow, I might not be able. I don't know if I'll be streaming or not tomorrow. It depends. Uh, if I do stream tomorrow, it'll be later in the afternoon. But you guys, hopefully, you'll get some answers too. But I appreciate you guys asking. Thank you. Always worried about my well-being. And yeah, I'm wearing my glasses today. I think I just have to face the fact that I have to wear glasses now. Maybe Sony's thinking that the PS6 won't sell a lot because of the price. They can get the money to make up for that by doing digital downloads only. Yeah, I mean that's part of their thinking, Carl. Part of Sony's thinking here is, and they don't hide this. If you go back to one of our streams, one of the last streams we did in June, we covered the Q&A section that Sony did for their investors, and a big part of that section was them saying they're planning on extracting more value out of each customer. They're not really hiding it. Like, they're just basically telling you, like, we want to extract as much money as possible from each individual customer. That's kind of the plan going forward. So when you consider that, I mean, you pair that with everything we're hearing about the PlayStation 6, this decision to no longer print physical discs. You combine that with the fact that they're going to be selling you two pieces of hardware, the PlayStation 6 home console and the seemingly digital-only handheld. It's like I said, a PlayStation customer who buys both the handheld and the PS6 home console is probably the equivalent of buying 2.5 to 3 or to 3 PlayStation 5 consoles at the launch. It's a very valuable customer. Oh, Michael Werniss is teasing something for my PO box. It's gonna be another PS5 Pro. Be like, bro, it's gonna be a disc drive. Here's a disc drive, MBG. But yeah, congrats on that, man. No, I did not buy Assassin's Creed. I've been hearing good things about it, but I've never really been into Assassin's Creed, to be honest. It's just not a series that's ever really spoken to me for whatever reason. You would think it would, but it just never did. So from what I can tell, it's a good remake. People seem to really be enjoying it. But, God knows Ubisoft is in that place right now where they need any win they can get. And we have Hellbound 1981. Another legend. That's basically his nickname at this point. Another legend. Not the legend, not a legend, another legend. Hellbound comes in. He drops 5 more member gifts for you guys. Really, really appreciate that, Hellbound. Appreciate all the support you guys have been showing. So that brings us up to 31 members. So you guys are killing it today. Thank you. Sony and Xbox will not fold. Fight for digital rights. Don't focus on something that can't be done. Well, yeah. I mean, that's... Even after offering MBG a code for Assassin's Creed, he had to play it cool and say no. I mean, I don't think Assassin's Creed looks bad or anything. It's just genuinely not a game that really speaks to me. I mean, look, I've been saying a lot of crazy stuff the past couple of weeks. And, I think a lot of people have been saying a lot of crazy stuff. I've probably been saying the craziest stuff. I'm in a holding pattern right now. Like I said, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. The one thing I will say is that as we move forward, it is starting to feel more and more like the real fight is going to have to, the battle is going to have to shift. If Sony really is just going to, and it seems like they're not going to say anything, they're just going to push this through. The next battle has to be about digital ownership and digital rights for consumers. We're going to cover a couple of things today where there's a lot of pressure building up and mounting towards Sony. One of the things we're going to talk about, And this has really caught my attention because I'm like, wow, Sony really, really pissed some people off here. Um, PlayStation 5 emulation. PlayStation 5 emulation is something that was always going to happen, but it now seems like it is accelerating. I just saw today, apparently Astrobot is in the process of being emulated on PC, and I'm like, oh man, dude, like Sony poked the hive with this one, man. They poked the the bear, where like it's like I said, PS5 emulation was always going to happen, but with this recent announcement, it seems like the entire emulation slash hacking, PC community, the jailbreak community, it seems like they're all really focused on this now, and they're determined to try to make significant progress uh, to spite Sony. Like they were always going to do this, but now they're putting the pedal to the metal, and I can't say I blame them. It's like, yeah, Sony, you could have avoided this. You could have avoided this. We have Mike 10031 with a generous $20 super chat. Thank you for that, Mike. He says PlayStation 6 at this point is probably going to be the biggest battle. People buy off the PS5, like Don Matrick, caring for the 360 being on top when they were about to launch the Xbox One. If that's uh, the passing of the baton fails, if that passing of the baton fails, it's when they reverse. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Mike. It is clear that the end of this generation is going to be successful for Sony no matter what. I know that I've been taking this approach where it's like, guys, we got to hurt their bottom line. We got to cancel digital pre-orders, cancel your PlayStation Plus. And obviously I still encourage people to do that. But I'm starting to realize at this point that like, it's not, I'm not going to lie to you, seeing the Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2 thing made me realize this isn't going to work the way I thought it was. Boycotts are very hard for this reason. It requires a massive like unification. And if there's any split in that, that's all it takes to kind of mess it all up. Divide and conquer, right? That's the whole saying. And the Black Ops, it's like insane to me, but yes, the Black Ops 1 and 2 digital ports literally were that dividing moment just within 10 days of this happening, where you see it top the charts. It's like, I'm seeing more discussion, practically speaking, about those ports than I am the recent announcement of the disc support ending. And you begin to realize that this is exactly what Sony's banking on. They're banking on cry for a little bit, boycott, do your thing, continue to, blow us up on Twitter. But people are going to move on. And yeah, I'm not saying everybody did, but it's just, yeah, this is even, I mean, what makes it look so much worse is, dude, we're talking about straight ports of games that came out like 2010 and 2012, where it's like, we're not talking about Wolverine. We're certainly not talking about GTA. If you're already seeing this now with something like this, I'm not trying to make people feel like your efforts are in vain. I don't think they are necessarily. I think it's still doing something. If at the very least it's encouraging people to think, you know what I mean? And to consider their choices. But I kind of agree with what Mike is saying here, where he's kind of pointing out that like the PlayStation 6 is going to be the moment, right? And there's something interesting that I think is worth bringing up here. And it's the fact that whenever Sony does reveal the PlayStation 6 and the upcoming PlayStation handheld, which we assume will be sometime next year, maybe around April, May, June, around that time, this is coming back. Sony's obviously going to reveal digital only devices. Here's the PlayStation 6. There is no disc drive. It's digital only. Here's the PlayStation handheld. It's digital only. And it's going to bring all of this back. So like everybody's going to get it out of their system. They're going to play Wolverine. They're going to play GTA. They're going to play the holiday games. They're going to play the games that come out in February, March, and April. But then once Sony gets ready to reveal the PlayStation 6 again, this conversation comes back with a vengeance, because, you know, that's kind of when you ask yourself, like, why did Sony announce this so soon? That's part of the reason. They want to cushion the blow now. Like, they want to prepare you. They don't want anybody to be like shocked, like gasp. They just announced the PlayStation 6 and they also announced it's digital only. You're supposed to go into the announcement of the PlayStation 6 already knowing it's digital only. You know? I guess if anything, this makes it easier for Sony to not say anything when we get to that point. They won't say anything. They'll just say, refer to our blog post. We talked about this last year. Refer to our blog post. But this is where I think the community will rise up probably the most. Like, I could be wrong in this assessment, and I probably will be wrong. I don't want to say probably, but there's a good chance I'll be wrong. But it's an interesting assessment, I think, nonetheless, where it's like, you would think the biggest explosion of pushback would happen now. They announce it in a blog post, and Sony goes silent. Everybody freaks out. 2 weeks goes by, calms down a lot. A month goes by, calms down even more. And then we all mostly everybody just kind of goes about their business. I actually think the biggest explosion might happen when the PS6 is finally officially announced. I think that's when you're going to see people, like, there's going to be a lot of people ultimately that are going to be rooting for the PS6 to fail. I don't know if it'll be as great as what we saw with the Xbox One. I mean, that's extreme, you know? Like, Sony would have to mess everything up to make it that bad. There's definitely a possibility where June of next year, Sony has like a showcase event for the PlayStation 6. And they're like, here's our lineup of games. Here are third-party games. And I think everybody will kind of be in like a little bit of a trance at that time if Sony really does a good job with it. You know, where it's like, my God, look at these games. You know, look at their exclusives. Yeah, I still don't believe that, Irfan. I don't think the PlayStation 6 is getting delayed to 2028. I just don't believe it. I'm still locked in fall 2027. But I think like people will be in a little bit of a trance at first, but I think what's going to snap them out of it is the price. I think people are going to actually be initially excited about the PlayStation 6 because we're all going to get caught up in the hype. Sony's very good at that, and they know how to create the FOMO. And so in that initial moment, we're like, damn, that was a good showcase. My God, those games look awesome. They're going to get us with the games. And we're like, yep, PS6, it's next gen, baby. And then they're going to be like, it's $1,000. And that's going to burst the bubble. And that's when the tidal wave that's when like the new tsunami is going to come, where it's like, it's not just the price. I'm telling you, here's what Sony's going to do. They're going to tell you it's $1,000. They're going to announce those games you just saw are $80. They're probably going to have another price increase for PlayStation Plus. They're going to show you the handheld. That's going to probably be minimum $700, probably more than that, though. And then, you know, everybody who is pissed off right now, all the people who just got pissed off by Sony announcing there's going to be no physical discs starting January 2028. Oh, hello, Luna. They're also going to come back with a vengeance and be like, not only is all of this horrible for the PlayStation 6, but there's also no physical games. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, it almost creates a perfect storm for Sony. Where it's like, Sony, I want to be the one to say to not just Sony, but any video game company that as long as you show great games, you'll win. But I don't know that that's completely true, because I want to remind people that if you go back to the Xbox One, Xbox had a pretty good E3 that year. That's something that nobody thinks about, but it's kind of wild, where it's like, when it comes to the games that Xbox showed off for the Xbox One in June of 2013, a month after their console reveal, it was actually pretty good. They had a pretty good lineup and a pretty good amount of third-party support as well, and nobody cared. Like, people were literally okay with the idea of there being less games available on the PlayStation 4. If you guys remember, Sony came out and they're like, it's going to be a little bit sparse. Sony was okay with that. Or not just Sony, gamers were okay with that because Sony won them with the pro-consumerism. You know, and that's kind of it really was just such an example, you know, of like, you, believe it or not, you can win gamers over without necessarily having all the games at right away. What, you know, gamers, a fair amount of them do care about this side of it, you know? And Mike with another $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Mike. He says, to elaborate, I think people are more likely to vote with their wallets rather than boycott further along as things get worse. Look outside the window. The world is a scary place right now. That's very true. That's why I stay in my basement. People naturally voted with the Xbox One and Concord. And that's a great way to put it, Mike. I'm starting to get that feeling too, where it's like, I don't know that the boycott is going to be the way to go about it because, again, there's already cracks in it. It's already like a lot of the momentum has already been lost. But I don't think that means Sony gets away scot-free. I think it's kind of like what you're saying, where it might be a more natural, deleterious reaction, where it's not necessarily people in mass getting angry and being like, F you, Sony, I'm out, right? At least not at one singular point, and just seeing them lose millions of customers in the blink of an eye. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be kind of like death by 1,000 cuts type thing, where I know this is just Twitter and it's anecdotal, and I'm not saying Twitter's reality, but it's interesting nonetheless. I put out a couple of questions. The first question I asked Twitter was, are you buying a PlayStation 6? I got 2,500 replies. And let me tell you, for an account of my size, that's absurd. I've never gotten that many replies on anything. And the overwhelming majority of answers were no. And not all of them were angry. A lot of them were just like, it's going to be too expensive. I'm good with my PS5. I'm thinking about going to PC. But here's where it gets even more interesting. I put out a follow-up question, and I asked, is the PS5 going to be your last PlayStation? And this was even more revealing. Where there were so many people, some with followings, where they were saying like, yeah, I think so. Again, it's not to spite PlayStation. It's more of just, you know, the reasoning they're giving. They're saying like, listen, it only gets worse. Like there doesn't seem to be anything good on the horizon. We're like, this is as good as it's probably, like, PlayStation peaked, in other words. Not necessarily with the PS5, but at some point they peaked. People stuck around for the PS5. But going forward, it's like, we're good. That's easy to say. It's easy for people to say no now because Sony hasn't revealed their exclusive lineup. They haven't revealed games. They haven't even revealed these next-gen devices yet. So it is easy to say no. It's going to be harder to say no when it's right in front of you. But, like, this is where I've never gotten this many replies ever with anything, nor have I ever seen it this clear that, like, dude, if you go back to 2019, July of 2019, which would be the equivalent of where we are now, prior to the PS5, July 2019, nobody was talking this way about the PS5. Nobody. You ask a question on not just Twitter, but anywhere, like, do you think you'll be getting a PS5? The vast majority of people will be like, yeah, hell yeah. You didn't see this. It was not like this even remotely. And this is where I am just starting to get this kind of feeling that's building up more and more, where it's like, I don't think Sony's going to have a successful generation with the PS6. At least not for a while. Like, it might have to be a comeback generation if they're even able to do that, where, like, I guess maybe eventually everything truly does go digital, years go by, everybody does just accept it, maybe, perhaps. But I think Sony is basically signaling that they are prepared for this generation to not be a flop, but it's not going to sell anywhere near the PS4 and the PS5. And the way they're going to handle that, the way they're going to mitigate that so that investors don't leave and their stock doesn't plummet, is they're going to, again, they're going to try to wring every PlayStation customer dry. They're going to try to get more from each customer, more than they ever have. This is why I'm saying you better believe they're going to increase their price of their games to $80. You better believe it. They're not hiding it anymore. And the sad part about this to me is, like, there really isn't anything to stop this. The only thing that could stop it, perhaps, is, like I said, is if Sony shows off the PS6, they make all these announcements, and then just like, because, well, think of it like this. What's like the backup plan for Sony? You think it's not this doom and gloom? I mean, is it playing ads for you guys again? I lit mid-roll ads set to manual mode. That's what it says for me. Again, apologies. I don't know how to change this without completely demonetizing all my streams. I don't know how to change this. I have it set to manual, which let me refresh it and see if it gives me if it says something else now. Those sons of bitches. Now it's automatic. Okay. It asks me before I start every one of my streams, do you want it set to manual or automatic? I always set it to manual. And I just checked to see if it said manual. That's what it said. I refreshed it. It said automatic. I apologize. I don't want ads running in the middle of my stream. That's why I always set it to manual, because it interrupts the flow. People miss what I'm saying. I don't know what I almost said Sony, what YouTube did on the back end here, but whatever they did, it changed it to where it's literally changing it to automatic while I'm streaming, and I don't even know that it's happening. And the only way I can see it is if I refresh. Like, I think YouTube is like they're trying to be secretive about this. They're like, we're gonna run ads and like not tell you. Oh God, man, what things are only getting better, aren't they, guys? Such a Sony thing to say. Irfan says, if you want to support discs, then why are you boycotting upcoming games that will get physical releases? Sony will get the message of buying them much better than the message of refusing to buy. Well, I mean, it's a fair question, Irfan, and I guess it's just because it's like, from my perspective, granted, I am softening on this perspective, as you can tell, but from my perspective, it's like we need to hit Sony hard, and we need to strike hard, and we need to strike fast, and then, like, all that happened was, like, here's the Black Ops 1 and 2 ports, and it's just like, and it's over. The window is closed for now, and there's no telling when it's going to open again. And Sony's just sitting there like, I mean, dude, Sony's sitting there and they're like, are we wrong? And I'm looking at the fact that Black Ops 1 and 2 shot to the top of the chart ahead of everything. And I'm like, and here's what makes me even more depressed. I went to go check out these ports, like on YouTube and stuff. These ports are literally bare bones. They released the 1.0 versions of Black Ops 1 and 2. 1.0 versions, dude. And they actually sold these fucking ports. in that state. Millions upon millions of people gobbled it up. And then within 72 hours, the games are hacked to oblivion. And get this shit. There was a hack so bad that people would enter a match and the hacker would give you negative XP and reduce you below level 1. And that would literally hard lock you out of the game where you can't matchmake because the game registers. It's broken. Now, granted, they are fixing this. Thank God. Like, legally, they're going to have to fix this. They understand, like, you got to fix this shit. But here's the mind-blowing part. This is why I'm like, we are getting what we deserve. Boy, oh boy, are we collectively as gamers, apparently, we're getting what we deserve. Where it's like, you might ask yourself, wait, surely when they were porting these games, they knew this. It's not like it's news that Black Ops 1 and 2 on the PS3 and Xbox are hacked to oblivion. You can't play them. That's how hacked they are. That's how fucking broken they are, and they've been abandoned and left for just to be that perpetually. Surely they knew. Of course they knew this. Of course they knew, hey, you guys, you're porting the 1.0 versions. They're going to get fucking destroyed within 24 to 72 hours. Like, do you think they would have done something to maybe, I don't know, prevent that from happening before they ask you for your money? Their answer is no, fuck you, give us your money. Then if we feel like it, maybe we'll fix it. It's like, but that's the thing. But everybody's like, it's the nostalgia. Dude, they're weaponizing the nostalgia to a degree I've never seen. It's like, we're not giving you a remaster. We're not giving you a buffed up port. We're giving you a 1.0 fucking port with nothing done. Nothing done. And we're not even going to commit to support. Because we're banking on your nostalgia. Direct donation, Titus. Let me see. Did it come through? It did. I don't know why I didn't hear it, though. We have a direct donation from Titus. Sorry, I'm just ranting about that because I'm like, you got to be. But this is what makes it worse. Is like, this is the thing that hurts our, like, the boycott. This is the thing that slices right through. I'm like, we're fucking cooked. We're cooked beyond cooked. We're overcooked. We're burnt to a crisp, bro. Like, what are we doing? Oh my God. And don't get me wrong, I love Call of Duty Black Ops 1. I love that game, but I'm like, this is just the, like, we're boiled. We're boiled. We're crispy. Titus, you're saying, hold the line. There's cucks. Oh my God. It's just like, he says, hold the line. There's cucks, sheep, boot leather enjoyers everywhere. They wouldn't know how to be on their own side if you drew them a map. God damn. I'm sorry you had to hear that, Luna. I'm sorry to hear that. Look, she's using the cat tower. Yes. Yes. My angry black cat is using the cat tower. This is amazing. I'm so happy to see her using it. It's true. Yeah, I mean, look, Titus, I can't be angry at the gamer. I mean, the gamer's gamer. You know what I mean? Like, you're passionate about the playing of video games. Video games are important to you. They mean something to you. Same here. I can't be mad at that person. That's why, like, I'm not trying to just, like, aggressively judge people where it's like, yeah, I'm still playing Wolverine and I'm just going to play games. Cause, like, yeah, I feel the weight of it too, where it's like, this sucks that they're putting us in this position where it's like, what are you going to do? Not play games? And you're starting to see more and more people be like, well, we're just going to be left out to dry, you know, like, because it's just going to be us. It's, but the people I do judge, where it's like, I get it. People are like, I'm not even involved. I'm just going to do what I want to do. I don't judge those people. Because it's like, whatever, man. Like, just do you. Hopefully, pay attention to what's going on and how it may affect you in the future. But the people that really bother me the most are those who are like, and I'm still seeing it, where they're getting upset at people who are trying to do something here about this. It's like, what is there to get upset about? Like, the only outcome that could occur, truthfully, like the only outcome that could occur if anybody here is successful is beneficial to all of us. And I get that, like, for example, with me, I get that some people are like, dude, it's been 14 days and you're still on it. It's like, yeah, I get that. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. I'm just trying to be honest, where it's like, if what I'm saying and doing is beginning to annoy you, just take a break from me, from my content. I doubt it's going to be like this forever. I mean, it can't be like this forever, literally. But it's like, I just like, it's much worse on Twitter, where I encounter people where they're like, shut up, go away. It's like, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I getting in the way? Are people like me getting in the way of this company, fondling you? Or, I mean, that's putting it politely. It's like, why are you getting angry at us? But I don't know, man. I think it's because, truthfully, some people, and Zombie Dragon, I'm going to read your super chat in 1 second. I think it's that some people really do have this mentality that, to be frank about it, it's not some people, it's most people. There is this kind of lingering higher level truth that it's not one I like to look at that often or consider too often, especially at moments like this, because it's like, it's just too depressing. And it's that we are here, not we as in me and you. I'm talking like the entire games industry. I'm not like pointing the finger at you in particular, just like I'm not pointing it at me. It's just collectively, as a whole, the games industry is at this point because this is what the majority have. This is what they settled on. Michael's like, you can point at me. I'm pointing at you, Michael. And you see why that's kind of depressing. Where it's like, there really are a lot of people that are like, this is fine. Like, what are you talking about? This is perfectly fine. And it's like, it's definitely not. There's a lot of things wrong with it. And now we've seen a certain truth. We've seen something has been revealed that can no longer be swept under the rug or hidden, because it's out in front now for everybody to see. But you begin to realize that, like, there's just people that are like, this is fine. And I don't know what to say to that, because it's like, is it rude to say uneducated? I mean, that's the irony of it, is like, most of the people I encounter are not uneducated. It really is just like, yeah, this is fine. Where it's like, are you okay with the idea of being locked into a singular storefront where, if all of your games, for whatever reason Sony may deem, are taken away from you, or a portion of your games are taken away from you, or even just one game that you really like is taken away from you, you have zero recourse. None whatsoever. And it's the crazy excuses that sometimes I see people make. We're like, well, they don't want to do that. It's like, what do you mean they don't want to do that? Like, that's not the point. Like, I don't know. Consumerism has reached an all-time low, I suppose, in terms of, like, these companies are just, I'm not saying everything they put out is slop, but it's like the Black Ops 1 and 2 ports disgust me and upset me deeply because it's like that's literally slop. Like they literally just dropped slop in front of you. Not you, but like in front of people, and they all just like the pigs come running, you know? And it's like, guys, they literally told you it was a bare bones port. Like they told you it was a bare bones port. People warned that you were gonna like run into these problems, and now everybody's. But here's the thing: everybody's acting all upset. We're like, oh my god, they suck. It's like it's Activision. It's Call of Duty. Like, what did you expect? They did this because they know, And I guess I'm using this as the prime example of like, it highlights the greater problem with the industry. It's like, because they know not you, but like the Call of Duty players have been bitching them out for like decades, practically. And they've done nothing and they still buy it. And the only time, and this is so important, because you're not going to see this happen with Sony unless something crazy happens with Xbox in the next year. The only time you saw Activision brought to their knees, trembling, scared, willing to do whatever it takes to not lose their customers is when Battlefield came rolling up and they're like, your money is our money, your players are our players, and we're fucking steamrolling you this time, and there's nothing you can do about it. I never saw a company get so scared in my life. And now, but it was like a fluke. It was like a one-time thing. Mikey, I'll try to read your last. Let me read Zombie Dragon. I got a couple things I got to read. Zombie Dragon said, no offense, we lost this fight long ago. Now the only thing we can do is decide what protection we'll have in this digital future. That is the fight we need to worry about. I agree. I'm starting to feel more and more like that. I mean, I still think there's time for Sony to change this. There is time. You know, they don't have to go through with this. Keep in mind, it took Microsoft a month to change their DRM stance and reverse course with the Xbox One. So there is time. The next time we could maybe push for a change, and I mean really push, maybe. And who knows what's going to change between now and then is I feel like the PS6 reveal. I feel like that's going to be the time when all eyes are on Sony, and it's the best chance for everybody to collectively to rise up and force, like, say to Sony, like, we're not, like, no disc, no buy for PS6. No disc, no buy. And I think a lot of people who don't even really care will come on board with that because they'll just be annoyed at the price. You know? People will just be flat out annoyed at that. Mikey, you're saying their entire personality is tied to the brand. It's a defense mechanism. Spent too long thinking PlayStation is infallible, and they know full well we have a point. So they're working through their own stages of grief. And I get that. Like, you know, I feel that way to a small extent too. Like, trust me, I've invested so much in the PlayStation, you know, and I don't know what the future is going to hold for me. You know, it's easy. Talk is cheap. It's easy for me to talk. But yeah, it's like, I get it. I spent so much time and money, and I have so much poured into it. And that's why I definitely sympathize with the PlayStation players that I come across who are like, well, I don't know, man. I think PS5 is just where I'm going to stick around for a while. All my games are here. My friends are here, whatever, everything, my trophies. And I that's why I'm so annoyed by this, where I'm like, Sony's just going to keep weaponizing that. They're just going to keep weaponizing that. And it sucks because it's like, yeah, that's your time, that's your money, that's your investment. And rather than Sony respecting that, they're weaponizing it. And it's like, that's fucking despicable. That's the opposite of being respectful to your customers and good to them. And I get it, where it's like, well, it's not a charity. They don't owe you anything. It's like, no, sure, they're not a charity. We're not asking them to be a charity. We're just asking them to fucking treat their customers with respect, man. And fuck, like, that's what annoys me so much about this is like, it's sad that that's basically kind of what we're fighting for here. And Sony's just like, I'd be a perfect PR manager for Sony. I have a great understanding of what the audience wants. Sony should hire me. I'll be the dude. I'm gonna end up being Sony's PR manager, PlayStation's PR manager, and be like, discs are here to stay. I mean, Sony, I'm here. Give me a call. If you're willing to do that, I'll be the guy. I'll come out. Put me in a suit. You know, I'll come out on stage. Titus, I will read your direct donations. Let me just read Bismarck. He says, do we have numbers on who is boycotting Sony? No. We don't. This is why I feel like it's not going to work. Not right now anyway, because it's like I said, Sony's not dumb, dude. They played this too smart. I hate to say it. They played it too smart. They knew they're like beginning of July, right before a holiday weekend, beginning of our earnings, before any of the big games drop. There's just this long, drawn-out window of time for more and more people to just be like, I'm going to go do something else now. You know, and then you got GTA right after. Keep in mind, we're going to see GTA gameplay probably in the next 8 to 10 weeks sometime. Sony planned this out. So, like, this is why I'm saying I'm starting to really think that the next big tsunami potentially is with not the launch, but the reveal of the PlayStation 6. This might be the only time, specifically with that price. I'm telling you, when Sony announces that if Sony announces the PS6 at $900 or $1,000, it's over. And PlayStation enthusiasts who are going to buy it no matter what, they're going to have a hard time on the internet, because the majority of people are going to be like, nah, dude, like, this ain't it. And that's where I think that will be the time to strike, you know? Strike hard, strike fast. Really, though, where it's like, this is like, if Sony, I'll put it to you this way. Sony's not nervous right now because they have Wolverine coming, because they have GTA coming, because they have probably their strongest holiday season in the history of PlayStation coming due to GTA. Okay? You know when that might change, though? You know when Sony might start to feel like, oh, I don't know. You know, Mr. Totoki, I don't know about this one, sir. You know, Hideaki Nishino's going to be like, oh, hold on, Herman, we gotta talk. You know, we gotta have a meeting. I think Sony might not feel as confident by the time we get to May and June of next year. The GTA hype has died down, obviously, by that point, at least substantially. You know, Sony had their record-breaking quarters. If people push back against the PlayStation 6 brutally enough, and we also don't know what Microsoft is planning either, but if people push back against the PS6 brutally enough to where Sony starts to get nervous, oh my God, like, this thing might actually flop, like, out of the gate. I think they would. It's a big, you know, it's a huge assumption I'm making here. But it's like, maybe, just maybe, they'll be like, guys, what do you want us to do to make you buy? Like, we're listening. We hear you. Nobody's pre-ordering the PS6. The PS6, this is the lowest amount of interest we've ever seen for a PlayStation device. What do you want from us? And we're like, disc drives, physical disc games. I think Sony is willing to walk it back even then. I do. I really do. Because it's like, there's nothing to threaten them with right now, other than saying, I'm not buying GTA. Everybody's buying GTA. It's over. Like, this generation is solidified. There's nothing you can do to hurt Sony this gen. That's the realization I'm having, is that, like, it is over. Literally, we're at the end. But they come out with that PS6 and you better believe they're nervous. They're sweating bullets. They're afraid. They don't know how people are going to react. That's when this comes back to bite them in the ass. That's when they're going to be at their most vulnerable. Where it's like, if you don't change this now, You're really, that combined with the $1,000 price tag, that combined with the fact that people don't want to leave PS5, you're really fucking it up. So I don't know. All right, let me read these direct donations. Apologies for keeping you guys waiting. So Titus has a couple direct donos. He says, so most people haven't even heard of this issue yet. They will hear about it when they have to do something. They don't yet. It equals no friction. The point of greatest friction is the new console. They need to engage fully, look into the proposition, discover it's all digital, plus the price equals it gets real. See? Yeah. Titus knows. And he says when $1,000 of friction is there, people, even normies, will look into everything. They will see what they can. They will see they can't take their physical library forward. Equals rage. I mean, that's what I'm thinking too, man. That's where I realize like the friction. The timing of Sony announcing this is peculiar to me, man. Like I'm trying to think more long term. I'm like, is there a possibility that Sony is much more willing to walk this back than we might realize at this moment in time? Because I almost wonder if this was kind of like we want to go all digital with the PS6 and the handheld. We're absolutely terrified of announcing that and what is going to happen if we do. If we do it, we're not going to announce the PS6 now. We're not going to announce the next gen devices now. But if we just announce we're done with discs now, we can prepare. And that's what's interesting to me is like, surely Sony is looking at this and thinking like, what can we do now to prepare for when we go announce the next gen console and the next gen devices to prepare for this? Unless they're dumb and they think this is literally just going to go away. It'll go away temporarily, but surely they're intelligent enough, you would hope so, to realize that once you come back to it, once you have to talk about it again, which is exactly what Titus is saying, here's $1,000 digital-only device. It's going to come back with a vengeance, like I said. And when it does, I almost wonder, what if this is like the greatest PR plot twist in history? What if this is done purposely? What if, put my tinfoil hat on for a second. What if Sony is literally trying to set up their own like hero moment? Like, we're going to make the PS6 sound fucking awful until we actually reveal it. And when we reveal it, we heard you. We're doing discs. We're doing a disc drive. I don't know. Just, it's not going to be $1,000. Huh? I mean, I don't know. Undersell and over deliver. Come on, man. No, I mean that I don't think they would do that. But there is something here though. What I just described is fantasy, obviously. That's like weird shit. But believe me, there is something with this announcement where like I don't know, man. I think Sony, I just have this feeling, I know they're arrogant, but I think they're more scared than we realize. I think not right. I think they're putting on a brave face or, coming off as they don't care because, yeah, we got GTA in our back pocket right now. But once that card is played, and it can only be played once, what then? So, like, what are you going to do then? What do you do then? You don't have GTA anymore. You don't have, like, the strongest holiday lineup of the generation. Bloodborne. Damn, Irfan, you're right. They got the Bloodborne card ready. Buttery Cheeks with a super chat says, MBG, I play mostly on PC and Switch 2 and only play my PS5 Pro for true exclusives, but I'm 100% digital. I do sympathize for physical gamers, though. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, I've always said, I don't think there's anything... I don't think there's anything wrong with preferring to buy your games digitally. It's just I think a lot of people are not yet prepared. Well, if they're not prepared, they just might not be aware that like there is like when you buy a game digitally, you're buying you're buying a license that can be revoked at any time. You know, and it really is turning into this situation where it's like, if that's where we're going by force, by choice and force, choice where the majority are already doing this forcibly because it's like, well, we're eliminating the alternative option, the corporations. The only option, like the only protection left at that point is reaching a status where when you buy a game from the PlayStation Store, you own that game. And the only way that's going to happen is if the government gets involved and new laws are made. And that's what I just think a lot of people are not actually aware of at this moment in time, where it's like, you have these consumer protection agencies, and that's what they're set up to do, to protect the consumer. You start to realize that the consumer's kind of dumb. The consumer, I mean, this is why there's always this kind of like the bad guy. Like sometimes it almost does look like the bad guy in the room is the person that's trying to stand between the corporation and the consumer. The corporation's like, this is what they want. The consumer's like, this is what I want. But the person in between is like, no, like you shouldn't take, like to the corporation, you shouldn't take advantage of that. It's moralistically and ethically wrong. And to the consumer, it's like, you should understand this isn't what you should want because there's very negative ramifications. Understand that. Like, understand you as a consumer should have more rights, and you should absolutely lean into those rights and care about them, because it's the only thing stopping this type of predatorial, but that's the thing. Like when you look around at everything, when you take like a wider zoomed out look, it's like the people have spoken. I know I sound so defeatist in saying that, but it's like, I think even the most hardcore fighter right now agrees that, like, generally speaking, the people have spoken, man. But, that's why when we look at Steam, I've been bringing up Steam recently because it's like, this is where, I mean, sure, when you look at Steam, it's digital only. And when you buy a game on Steam, you don't own it. You're also renting a license. However, at least on Steam, that the customer service experience is on your side. And so it becomes a little bit more forgivable. Oh, what's that? You bought a game and played it for an hour and 45 minutes, but feel buyer's remorse, paid $70 for it. You realize this just isn't for you. Here's your money back. Have a good day. That literally doesn't exist on PlayStation. Oh, you took a chance. You bought a game for $70. You played it for an hour. You played it for 20 minutes and you don't like it. Yeah, you go fuck yourself. We look forward to your next digital purchase. I'm just saying, and that is something Sony can do, but that's where I'm like, they're not doing it yet. Like, now is the time to announce that shit and do that. And they're like, but what if we don't have to? What can we get away with this without having to do that? That's where things start to become. That's why Sony looks so nefarious right now. Where it's like, I'm not saying you don't run into some issues sometimes returning physical games, but the reality of the situation as it stands now is you can guys, you can buy a game from Amazon right now, a brand new game for $70, open that shit, play it for like a week, and initiate a return, and there's like a 90% chance Amazon's going to let you return it. And you know why they do that? Because they want to keep you as a customer. They can afford it, but they want you to remember that. Not so you can take advantage of it and just, that's where the bad apples ruin it by exploiting it. But so you'll remember, like, did we just earn a little bit of goodwill from you? Yeah, I'll remember this. I'm likely to come back now. Sony has lost that. So like completely and entirely. And that's what blows my mind is it's like, even if you are in a position of power, like you should still try to care about the idea of like you want returning customers to return willingly, not forcibly, and they don't seem to understand that. Moonshot, thank you for the direct donations, buddy. You're saying, I will say this, MBG, you're now bringing the fight to Sony after all these years of other companies like Microsoft killing physical. You should have started when the first company ended physical releases, not the last. Where was this big rebellion against GTA 6? Everyone, including you, sent a message. Also, PS6 is in trouble because of digital only. It's coming too soon and it's unaffordable. Next gen doesn't feel earned. That's why it's in trouble. Right now, not buying, or sorry, Titus, that was a direct from Titus. I mean, you're not. What in the? Hold on. For a second, I thought my cat just found a mouse or something. It was just a hairball, like a tuft of hair or fur. I mean, from I think from Papa or whatever. I thought she like found a mouse or something and like pinned it against the wall. She's acting like a weirdo. Moonshot, no, you're not wrong, dude. Here's my foolishness in all this. Maybe it's not foolishness, but it's like, I guess it is a little bit. It's like 50% foolishness, 50% apathy. And that's how these things happen, where it's like the apathy came in the form of, I don't play on Xbox. I don't play in these other places. I'm not worried about them going digital because I don't play over there. It's not my problem. The foolishness comes in play when I look at Sony and I'm like, you guys are better than that. You won't do that. Like, I know you, Sony. I clearly don't. It's like, you will lean into the fact that this is an advantage for you. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Moonshot. Like, I am the guy that, like, I look back at the shit that Sony said at the PS4 gen. I'm like, they meant that. They're not. And, like, I get it's like, oh, well, there's new people running the show now. And I know that, but it's like, they're not going to just clown themselves and completely 180. Right? And I was wrong, dude. And that's where, like, I do feel a little bit foolish, where it's like, oh man, I really put too much stock into Sony here, thinking like I didn't think they would do it. I mean, dude, I'm seeing even the most die-hard PlayStation guys right now that are not leaving PlayStation, that do buy all their games digitally, but even they're saying like, yeah, this is kind of soon. I didn't think they would do it like this. That to me is the crux of all this. It's like I said, it's like, but MBG, didn't you? It's like I've had conversations with you guys where I'm like, I know eventually things will be all digital. I'm not, and I mean that for all mediums. Eventually, you won't be able to buy Blu-rays. I mean, I don't want it that way, but that day is going to come eventually. I thought for sure games were going to be like the last one of like, it's going to be real hard to completely eliminate physical from games. Because there's so many more reasons for somebody to want to buy a game and have a game on a disc than there is even for somebody to have a Blu-ray on a disc, perhaps, or music. And that's what makes all of this so shocking to me. Is it wasn't even just banking on Sony. Like, Sony, you won't do this. It's just there are actual reasons, like legitimate reasons why gaming should probably be the last medium to go all digital. And to my shock, is like, bitch, they're going to be the first. And I'm like, what do you mean? And now I realize, yes, looking back on it, it's like, now I realize, like, damn, dude, I should have cared more when this shit started happening. I mean, I can't blame myself with the PC side. I was young. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on the PC side. But once you start seeing the signs with Xbox, and then what's happening with Nintendo and people freaking over the game key cards, I'm like, oh, who cares? Who cares about Nintendo? You know, like I don't care about Nintendo. But then you realize it's like, oh no, it's coming for you next, buddy. It's like, oh, and that's where what Titus said earlier is interesting because it's like I do wonder what people are going to think when it comes knocking on their door with the PS6. You know what I mean? That and because that's the thing. Right now, I just think it's whatever, bro. I got my PS5. I got my PS5 Pro. I'm gonna buy these games digitally. It's all gonna just be fine. It's what comes next, and yeah, it's true. Everybody grows up and sees the board at different times in their life. MVG. Yeah, I mean, my problem is like I can feel the sinking feeling coming in. You know, everybody's like, fight. And I'm like, I want to fight, but fuck, man. Like, at each day that goes by, I'm like, we're not winning this, are we? Like, there's no shot in hell. But I realize it's about pacing myself. It's not about giving up, but it's about understanding that this is a long-term thing that fight you, demoralizer. Well, that's the thing. I realize the problem here is not being aggressive isn't going to help, is what I'm trying to say. It feels sometimes like it helps in the initial establishment of it, but it's like this is a long-term slow burn, and it's not our fault either, by the way. It's not our fault. Like, we're not the ones who are making it this way. It's actually, when we talk about Sony getting sued, when we talk about lawsuits, when we talk about lawmakers getting involved, the government possibly getting involved, you know, this shit just takes time, and it's always painfully slow. And we also talk about the PlayStation 6. We talk about the build up to that, and we realize that the PS6 isn't next month. The PS6 isn't in the next 4 months. The PS6 is probably over a year away. Well, yeah, it's well over a year away. So you begin to realize that like this is where we have to be. Well, I don't say we, but I'll just say me. I have to be thoughtful in my approach, and that clearly me doing something rash, whatever that may look like, if I'm beginning to realize it kind of it backfires a little bit. Where like people like I've noticed there's some people I've encountered are like, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, well, no, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm pissed, you know. But I just realized like we're moving past that point now where it's like I don't know that we can. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if the Black Ops 1 and 2 ports are a sign of anything, it's a sign that people are not going to stop buying their games. People are not going to stop playing their games. People are not going to walk away in the way that you think over the next 3 months, over the next 6 months. However, there are going to be moments scattered between now and however far we go into the first year into next generation. There are going to be these moments where another signal flares lit, you know? And I realize like those are the moments that are going to matter the most. If we look at it as more of like this is a war and this was one battle, I don't know that I will say we lost the battle as much as the battle won't go on like this. The battle just kind of petered out, you know, where Sony isn't doing anything and you're going to see more and more people walk away. Sony may think we've won. Many people may walk away thinking either A, we lost, or whatever, it was always going to be this way anyway. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I have this distinct feeling. I really do. I have this distinct feeling where it's like, now we wait. Now we wait. Because I can tell you, I can assure you, I feel confident. Well, I can only assure you as much as I can, right? Because it's like, I don't know the future, like I said. But I have a very strong intuitive feeling that the next 6 months for PlayStation are going to be fantastic for them. And for a lot of people who are still going to play on it. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, as an enjoyer of video games, I look at what's coming. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and say you're not going to enjoy those games. However, I have this like really strong hunch that not too long after that, once the bell is rung again, I think this is a precursor. That's what I'm trying to say. I think this is a fucking precursor. And I'm realizing like, whoa, hold on. This is like a false flag situation going on practically, you know, where it's like, this isn't the real shit yet. This isn't the real situation. This is the preliminary. The real situation is, and you know how I know this? Because if you go back to my initial reaction, like it's July 1st, Sony puts out this blog post. I went back and I looked, like, what was I saying? Literally the first things I was saying, the first thing I responded to Sony with is hashtag not buying PS6. I knew in that moment that, I already knew. I'm like, that's what this is about. That's what this is. That's why I said that. Because they're not saying you can't, we're not making, why do you think like these studios are coming out? Wolverine, we're going to be on disc. God of War, Laufey, we're going to be on disc. And it's like, yeah, but what does it even matter? But that's the thing, is it's just like, to a lot of people in this moment, that does matter. It's when we truly cross that threshold where there is no, waiting is over. The time is up. Now we're here. Now we cross the bridge. Are you crossing? Are you paying the toll? I realize it's like one person may view buying something like GTA as paying the toll. Sure. Nothing wrong with that mentality. You're not necessarily wrong. But that's not actually the toll. Like, that's not the bridge and that's not the toll. The bridge is next gen. The bridge is when Sony comes out and they're like, you guys ready? You ready? Then you're going to be asked to pay the toll. And that's where I'm like, why do I get the feeling that in that moment, you could shadow drop a Modern Warfare 1 and 2 remaster, some shit. I don't think that's gonna work this time. You don't have a GTA now. Wolverine's already been out. Now all that's really left is your upsell for next gen. How's that going to, how ironclad is that really going to be? I mean, look, I'm not trying to underestimate Sony here. Like I said, they're good at what they do. They're not stupid. Like, they're well aware of this. It's not like they're planning on just shitting out, PS6 and be like, please buy it. I mean, we joke around like that's what they're going to do. That's not what they're going to do. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Here's the question we need to ask. This is the question. Even beyond this. The question is, where does the PS5 sit in PlayStation's eyes once they reveal the PlayStation 6? That's the question, because when I talk about going with my intuition here, it's like I'm not as emotionally driven right now. I'm being more thoughtful, more analytical about it, more realistic, more grounded in reality. What's the number one thing a PlayStation player would likely say to Sony if they come out with $1,000 console that just seems awful? If not awful, just totally not worth it. The number one thing they're likely to say is, I'm good, I'm staying on PlayStation 5. And that's where I get nervous, where I'm like, I feel like Sony may have thought this out too well. Because that's the thing, is it's like, what if Sony is anticipating what I'm describing? We're like, oh yeah, you can, You want the PS6 to fuck off? That's fine. But are you still playing on PlayStation? In other words, if you're the person, I guess what I'm saying is like, it might just turn out that like the weaponization here is just, no, this isn't really about the PS6 hurting. We know the PS6 is going to hurt. It's about whether or not you're leaving. And that's where I feel like, I don't know. Like, I question that battle because it's like, are people going to leave? I don't know. There's a lot that can happen. What's Xbox going to do? Will the next Xbox have Steam? What's Steam going to do? There's a lot that can happen between now and then, but I don't know, man. The more days that go by, the more I just start to feel like it's not that I'm giving up the fight. It's not that. It's just Sony's not listening. So now we have to wait. We have to wait for the next fuck up to occur. Although the next state of play is going to be fun. That's going to be a fun one. You already know Sony's disabling their chat and their comments. Or if you're saying, ABG, I want to push back on this. They made tons of stupid moves this gen, but they still know how to hype people up. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't underestimate Sony, dude. They are right now. They're trying to execute a master class in how do we turn the mirror on the consumer while we just continue to count the money. It's great. Like, I have to give them credit where it's like, you guys fucking, yeah, like a master class in gaslighting. Like, you guys really thought they probably had AI help them come up with this plan and shit. It's bad. It's bad. I'm like, this is crazy. You guys are crazy. Absolute monsters. We have Moonshot. I'm sorry, buddy. Or Titus. I have to read what Titus said and then Moonshot. Titus says, right now, not buying a game is friction. In 18 months, the friction is buying a console. It's an inversion of pressure. It will matter. Yeah, I mean, it's even a little while ago, like last week, you know, people were saying, like, we're going to take the fight to GTA. But that's where I'm like, oh, God, we're not going to win that fight. Like, it's like, I hate sounding defeatist, but it's like, you know, they say, like, you got to pick and choose your battles. This is where I just realized, like, some of these areas are just too fortified. Like, and GTA is that. Like, GTA is too fortified where it's like, you ain't doing shit to GTA. Sony knows it. Rockstar knows it. Everybody in the room knows it. Everybody knows that. So let's not fight. It's do what you got to do on an individual level, but that's not the fight because you will lose that battle. You know, and the battles we're trying to fight are ones we can actually win. That's why I went so crazy. Truthfully, that's why I went so crazy in that, like, I'm like, we got to get radical up and we got to radicalize ourselves right now in the hopes that Sony listens. And unfortunately, it's just like they're not. They were ready for you to go crazy. They were ready for the most pushback they've ever gotten, but they were ready. And they're like, we're not moving. If everybody stays this way for 3 months straight, then we'll move. Nobody's staying that way for 3 months straight. Nobody's doing that for 3 months straight. So now it's a matter of what's the next battle then? What's the next battle that we can possibly win? And I don't know that it's this holiday season. It might be in some instances, but knowing GTA is there, it's like, I don't think we're going to win that one. The next, I don't know. My sights are set on the PS6 right now. Like, truthfully, it's like, we're going to hear more and more about it. My sight is set on the PS6 where it's like, I think we can win that battle. Sony's going to help us in that one. Tribal Chief, I'll have to look into it, man. It's tough for me. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't just have like a search feature that just lets me look for people who are banned. I have to like go diving into every individual name. Attention mods, please tell the host that there is a major leak that has just happened. Confirmed terabyte level discs specifically for larger games like GTA 6 available. Sony trying to hide it. Where is this coming from? Uh-oh. We've already lost this gen, but next gen is good night PlayStation. Brand damage means nothing to Sony because they can survive on hardware expertise. Nintendo is the company that cares about the health of the brand itself. True. Nintendo, they're in... Yeah, they do things differently than Sony. They have their own world. All these companies have their own world of hurt that they've seemingly created for themselves in some way, shape, or form. Like, the irony is, even with Steam, it's like, oh, what hurt has Steam done? Look at the Steam machine. It's like, can't win them all, you know? My interpretation of your answer to my earlier question about you not getting upcoming discs, there's still a possibility that you play Wolverine in future games on PlayStation. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm in a place right now where I'm just, like I said, I'm holding because I'm waiting to see what happens. My initial feeling on this matter is like, I'm not helping anything if I'm supporting it. Like, how can I come on here and say, damn you, Sony, we need to fight this, guys? But then it's like, but I'm giving Sony all my money anyway. So, you know, it's like, that's not helping anything. That's just me being hypocritical, you know? I'm not dumb, though. I mean, I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb. I understand, like, MBG, like, John, you do realize it's July. Nothing's happening right now. It's easy to be angry right now. How are you going to feel when it's September 12th and it's 3 days before Wolverine? And you know, beyond that, it's a week before GTA, dude. And literally nobody's talking about the discs anymore. Nobody cares anymore. It's over. What are you going to do? And I'm not that dumb. It's like, of course I'm thinking about that, where it's like, I'm only human. Do I come out here and I'm like, fuck you, Sony, I'm not doing shit. That's why I'm literally like, I'll buy an Xbox and I'll play GTA on an Xbox. It's like, but are you really, what are you really achieving by doing that? This is why my initial anger, all right, you saw me have a fucking meltdown because I can't believe this line was drawn this way, where it's like, listen and listen well, sheep. You're either in or you're out. And you know what? We know you're probably not going to be out. You know why you're probably not going to be out? Because if you're out, who's keeping company with you? Everybody's going to be playing GTA. Everybody's going to be having a good old time frolicking around in GTA and Wolverine and every other game that's coming out. So what are you going to do? You're going to go get in your little circles and yell with your pitchforks and torches, realizing nobody's actually listening? Nobody's around to listen anymore? And I like, that's where I'm like, guys are evil. Like, that's some evil shit, dude, where it's like, why are you doing this? Like, why does it have to be that way? Why has the games industry gotten to this point? Where it's not just, I mean, Sony's at the center of it right now, but it's not just Sony. It's why I'm like freaking out about these Black Ops ports, because it's like, what the fuck is going on? Hey, you want to buy our broken Black Ops 1 and 2 ports where we did literally nothing to it, but you're just going to give us money. We're getting free money. We're doing nothing. It's broken. You can't do nothing. Fuck you. Yeah, does that sound good? I know. We know that sounds good. What are you gonna do? You're gonna resist the nostalgia bait? We're getting nostalgia baited with this shit now. It's just like, I hate that, man. Like, because it forces me as a gamer, okay? It forces me to seriously contemplate, like, how important are these games to you, MBG? Like, really, how important are they to you? How important are are all those platinums you earned? How important are they to you? Hmm? And that's where it, you know, don't call, you don't have to call Lady Gamer a moron. She's not a moron. Listen, I'm not going to call anybody a moron who's buying Wolverine. I can't, I just can't be that way, because it's like, I get it. Like, you want to play games. And that's what that's what all these companies have that's what they weaponize against us now. Where it's like, we know you want to play it, so we're going to do what we want. We got you wrapped around our finger because you want a game, because you're a gamer, and we're going to do what we want. And I just, it's like, dude, the levels of disrespect have reached like all-time lows. And it's so infuriating. It's so frustrating. And, this is why a lot of people are like, yeah, buy your games pre-owned. But this is why also a lot of people are like, go to PC. That's why people play on PC. I just hate that it's come to this, where it's like, why? Like, there's no reason for it to be like this other than just in your face levels of greed and control and manipulation and, yeah, gaslighting. But anyway, let me see. Moonshot, you're saying I'm all digital because of game sharing, which Sony will certainly take away when they're all digital, but I do respect the fight. Hope for a W solution. Yeah, same here. And I was talking about that as well. A lot of people choose to do this. Well, not a lot, but certainly some people choose to go digital only because they game share, and it's through that game sharing that, that's why it's easy. It's easy to just be like, well, yeah, when, if you're game sharing with a family member or a friend, you guys are probably splitting it 50-50. So you're basically paying half price for a game. You get 2 copies for the price of 1, and you get to split that price. 100% that's going away. 100% that's going away, dude. And that's another, and you know why? The reason why I'm convinced that's going away is because I think the only reason that Sony and Microsoft, for that matter, allow this to happen is because they see it as better than you not buying anything digitally and maybe going to the secondhand market and buying your games that way. They'd rather just get a little bit from you than nothing. But once the physical option goes away for those players, it's like, yeah, we're ending that and you're giving us everything now. I don't think people who game share, I mean, you thought about it, Moonshot, but I think there's a lot of people who game share that haven't really thought about that, where they're like, dude, Sony's not going to let you get away with that anymore. Wabududu saying, I'll be playing / buying physical games until the end, but I'd lie if I wasn't itching to play the God of War remake trilogy. So I'm saying, you assimilate, get in line. All right. Kyle Say Stuff, you're saying, very sad though. The EU just dropped the case saying companies are free to offer services in any manner they see fit. They might get away with it eventually. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised by that to an extent. I don't know, man. I just like, to me, the crux of all this, truthfully, is just that, like, what I know I'm sorry that I sound like a broken record. And I know that some people are really getting tired of hearing about it. But to be fair, there's not really a whole lot. There's not. The only other thing that's really going on right now is the fucking destruction of Xbox. And normally that's where my focus would be at a quiet time like this, if that's the only thing that was happening. But that's not what's happening. You know, to me, this does take precedence over that, because the shit that's happening with Xbox, it's like, yeah, we fucking, like, none of this is surprising. You know, like, goddamn. You just got to commit to getting a nice PC, or you're going to fold and get a PS6 day one. I had this conversation with you guys the other day where I'm like, oh, I want to expand and game on everything. But then I realized that I had this kind of conundrum where it's like, yeah, but that's not going to change anything. Like, for me, it maybe could. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think anybody sees a problem in that. Like, yeah, expand your horizons, play where you want to play. But it's like the problems that are occurring in the industry from a more anti-consumer business, corporate greed level, none of that's changing. If anything, you're just now spending more money, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, me like, if the day does come, and which it might come. I don't know. And I'm saying this more relaxed, not as amped up and shit. If the day does come where it's like, guys, I'm moving to PC, you got to know that if I do that, I have truly given up on PlayStation. I mean, like, truly, thoroughly. It's not just PlayStation, but like console gaming, the console market, like, it's fucking cooked beyond cooked. It's burnt to a crisp, no chance of recovery. It's dead. I'm going to die a little bit harder than that. You know what I mean? I'm not. And well, that's the thing. Exactly, Carl. You're saying that is all digital. Correct. You are correct about that. But that's why I'm saying, like, it is one of these things where it's like, if my only if the option is go with PlayStation into the future, and what that future looks like, presumably, is you can only buy your games from the PlayStation Store. That's it. Can't buy discs. No physical. You could buy a box with a code in it, maybe. Okay. Still digital. If that's what I'm forced, like, it's if that's the only option going with PlayStation going forward, and then I look around and it's like, okay, well, where can I still buy physical games? And it's like the only physical games you can still buy are on Switch 2, which that's not going to satiate me. That's not the same to me. Which it's great that there will be something, but even then it's like it's not quite the same. I guess what I'm saying is, if I choose to go PC, it means I have accepted that, okay, yes, we are now entering the digital future. However, if I'm going to be forced into that digital future with no other option, no physical option, then I'd rather, more than likely, for the vast majority of my games, I'd rather be in a place where it's like, you don't have to buy your games just from one place. There are options like GOG. And the customer service on the Steam side is much better than PlayStation's, which would also be a digital-only storefront. So I guess what I'm saying is, where I could see this ending, and I want to make this clear. I need to make this clear because I think people, maybe I have been saying things a certain way where I'm not making it easily understood, or I'm being confusing about it. I'm not saying that if I were to eventually move to PC, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm like, I now hate console gaming and I'm done with it forever. No. I'm just saying that if I move to PC at some point, it's just a matter of like, okay, PC will probably be where I play all my third-party games. I'll probably play PlayStation exclusives when they come out, and that's the only time I'll play on PlayStation. Xbox when the Xbox exclusives come out that if there's going to be any I'm interested in. And then maybe eventually I don't know. Am I going to play Nintendo? I don't know. One day I'll play Nintendo. So somebody was like, "Yo, you should play Ocarina of Time remake instead of like GTA." And I'm like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like me. Like I don't know. I don't like that sounds really, really, really forced on my part, but it's just interesting. So I'm just saying, like, I'm in this holding pattern because I still want to believe, and I'm probably dumb. My foolishness probably still showing. I want to believe that like something's gotta give, man. Something's got like there's and I feel like that's why I'm like, maybe I'm willing to wait until we get to the announcement of the PS6 where it's like, this has got to be the moment. Right? Like, this is the moment gamers are going to tell Sony, either do a good fucking job with the PS6 or we're moving the PC or not moving anywhere. Which would also still kind of fuck Sony to an extent. I don't know. Belief is the thing that dies last and the hardest. Wait for them to fail? Well, that's the thing. Like, not necessarily. They don't necessarily need to fail. What they need to do is do the things that will prevent them from failing. And what to me that looks like is you gotta address the elephant in the room. Where it's like, bro, people are already screaming to you, Sony, we're not buying $1,000 PS6. People have already been screaming that. You just made it even easier by saying, and it's digital only. So it's like, at the very least, like, I don't know, there's like this kind of hope. You know how I said earlier, like, maybe this is all orchestrated by Sony? There's this kind of hope in me that, like, Sony is genuinely trying to undersell you right now. Like, that's right. Get scared, kids. Get frightened. Lose your ever-loving minds. At a $1,000 digital only I don't know why he's turning into Macho Man Randy Savage. $1,000 fucking digital only PS6, brother. Get scared. Because that way, when we do announce the PlayStation 6, we're gonna drop a bombshell on you. You ready? Yeah, that's right. That's right, son. The PS6 is $1,000 and you might have just shit your pants, but you're gonna have to change your pants because you know what? We got a disc. We're going back to discs. We're doing it. You can get a disc drive, or you can buy physical PS6 games. It's like, in a way, think of it like this. It is like the inverse, where, you thought the outrage was going to be people freaking out about the price. Nobody's talking about the price. Everybody's like, we won. We did it. We got physical discs back. In a way, kind of genius. Sony's not that. I don't know if Sony's that smart, though. So it's like, wait, let me get this straight, Sony. You decided to eat shit from a PR perspective between the month of July and November or September of 2026. So that way, come May, June 2027, nobody's mad at the fact that the PS6 is $1,000 because they're more fixated on the fact that you brought discs back. It's a publicity stunt. Heavy amounts of copium and hopium right now. Is it possible, though? I mean, come on. Tell me there's a chance. Tell me there's a chance. When do I think I'll move to another topic? When something else happens. I've been waiting. I mean, I feel like I could talk more about the Xbox stuff that's going on, but it's like, what the fuck is left to say, dude? Like, the situation with Xbox is so bad that it's like, I literally don't even know what to say. It's like, yeah, they're dying. Like, they're not dying, but it's like, yeah, they're fucking like, Asha Sharma came out and was like, Game Pass fucking failed and it was a mistake. And I'm like, what do I even say to that? You're right. Now, good luck. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I could talk. I don't know. it's hard for me to really focus on the Xbox side of things because, believe it or not, people didn't want to believe this. All the things I would say in regards to Xbox is in the hopes of them getting better and changing. And that's why my focus is purely on this with Sony right now, because I want this to change and I want them to be better than this. People have me wrong, dude. They've always had me wrong. They think, oh, you're just hating because it's what gets the clicks. It's like, no, dude. It's because I want them to listen. Like I fucking play games. People don't believe I play. I don't know why people don't believe I play games. I guess because maybe I'm too busy having conversations about this shit. But it's like, no, dude. I love video games. I've always loved video games. Like I play the shit out of games because they bring me happiness and satisfaction, and I like them and enjoy them, and they play a vital role in my life. I don't say the things I say because I want to watch it burn, because I want to see it die and get worse. I say the things I say because I want it to get better. You know? And granted, I get distracted at times where it's like I'm too lost in other things that I'm enjoying and having a good time with, not realizing that, dude, there's shit burning all around here, man. Pay attention. But I don't know, man. It's true, Titus. And I mean, I'm all over the place sometimes too. I get it. I'm a very emotional person. I get that. Oh, hold on. Let me see. I still have a couple super chats. I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. Perfect Image, you're saying MBG is a Christian. Is it bad to say I wish a hacker would hack PlayStation on ransom to stop them from moving digital? This is a real question. I mean, being a Christian, it's like if you were to ask what would Jesus do, would Jesus hope for that? Probably not. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, probably not the most Christian thing to do. But it's like, you know, if somebody were to do something to Sony PlayStation, you know, the corporation, to put them in a position where they would be forced to do the right thing by their customer, I don't think Jesus would be upset about that, per se. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't speak for Jesus, but it's just like things happen, you know, cause and effect. I mean, I don't want to see something like cataclysmic happen to Sony where it's like they're fucking hacked to oblivion and dead. Like they're fucking dead. Like what? I don't want to see that. But it's like if that's what would be needed to send the message to the fucking arrogant, clueless board of Sony of like, hey, dumbasses, don't do this. Announce you're reversing it. Support physical game discs. Okay? If that's what has to happen, it doesn't necessarily make me feel great because it's like it shouldn't have to ever come to that point, but it's like, whatever, man. You know, I'm not going to shed a tear. I'll be like, oh, Jesus say hack the planet. No. It really is just like, if that's what it takes, there's really no true casualty there, in my opinion. It just, to me, I would almost see that as like, it's pretty, corporations are pretty fucking bad when this is the only way you can get a message through to them. And I would just hope for a good outcome, you know, where it's like, did you learn your lesson? Kyle Say Stuff, you're saying very sad. I read that one already, sorry. And Kyle Say Stuff, you're saying PlayStation fan for 16 years. Got a Steam Deck, really happy. Interesting. You're the second person today to say you got a Steam Deck. I think Lawman was in here earlier saying he got one. It's two people coming in my stream today saying they got Steam Decks. Zenzo, you're saying Call of Duty players only play Call of Duty. They don't watch news, etc. Yeah, I mean, that's probably mostly true, you know. Let me come back to the chat here, though. Hold on. Bring the chat up in front of me. Hey, I have a question for you guys. This is extremely off topic, and I literally just thought of it. And I would ask AI, but then I would just end up ignoring my chat. So I'd rather engage the chat. Because is MBG better now? So I had 4 cats. I don't recall, like, I don't think I'm allergic to cats. You know, I think I had 4 cats. I think I would have known if I had a really bad cat allergy. You guys know that a couple of months ago, probably like 2.5 months ago, roughly, I got a 5th cat. But the reason why I got a 5th cat was because my aunt couldn't take care of him anymore. And she asked if we could take him in, and we did. My question is it possible for me to be allergic to only one of my 5 cats? Or is a cat allergy kind of universal? Where it's like, no, you're either allergic to cats or you're not. Because I was just thinking how I am feeling a little bit better right now. Certainly better than I was the other day. I took allergy medicine this morning. Which I don't usually do. I can't remember the last time I took allergy medication, but I was feeling like my nose was running a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I'm not feeling great. So I took it, and I'm like noticing now, like, huh. It's not my neck is still fucked, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, the dizziness and the weird shit I had going on. Pretty sure it's universal. So, Kyle, you're saying it's possible if cats has a different type of fur? Interesting. Some people are allergic to fur type, so it might be one type of cat, not all cats. Yo, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into this now. I'm not a cat expert. Still in my early days, says Narcan. Only if one cat is prescribed. You said prescribed. Subscribe to Game Pass. All right, yeah, I'll look into this because it's just the thought I had while I was sitting here streaming to you guys. That Ride or Die Jedi guy says, "Yo, here's the source. Startup claims they have built UHD Blu-ray successor. Excuse me. Just as PlayStation ends making physical games. Game ranks. All right, let me see." This was. Here we go. So this is from Game Ranks. They say a startup called Folio Photonic claims they have made a new optical disc format that is a proper upgrade to Ultra HD Blu-rays, such as they can replace 4K UHD if and when it retires. Called the Folio disc, it can hold a theoretical file size of 1 terabyte or 1 gigabyte, 1,000 gigabytes. UHD Blu-rays, which were seen introduced in the market in 2016, have a maximum capacity of 100 gigabytes. Folio also claims that Folio discs have a media cost of only $3 per terabyte. That's much cheaper than, say, hard disk drives, which have a media cost of $20 per terabyte. Most importantly, Folio claims they started scaling manufacturing capability 3 years ago, and both Folio discs and drives could be available as soon as this year. There's still a lot of questions about this Folio disc format. A key point is if it can match the read/write speeds of an SSD. But if and when Sony retires UHD Blu-rays completely, it may not mean the complete end of physical media or physical games. Very fascinating. See, this is why. Imagine this, right? Imagine if, like, you could see a situation play out where Sony's like, we're digital only, but you will own your games when you buy them. It'll be like GOG. Like, you can rip a game, right? You can actually have the files of the game. You can make your own physical media. Or you could, like, store your games on a disc. I don't know. That's it. That's interesting shit. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Shadowlink, you're saying MBG, I'm allergic to long-haired animals, but if they have a lot of dander or dry skin flakes, it bothers me more. But after being washed, the same animal doesn't bother me. You know what? I'm gonna have to give him a bath. Yeah, I didn't give him a bath. And you know what I did do though? I brushed the shit out of him, and all this fur dude. I've never seen so much fur come off of a cat. I'm like, how are you even holding this much fur, dude? How is all this coming off of you right now? He's got like the thickest fur I've ever seen on an animal. I'll have to give him a bath. Shadowlink has to catch up. He says, check my last comment. He's going to realize any minute now that I just read it. Did I get my MRI yet? I got my MRI. I'm getting the results tomorrow. Actually, let me check right now to see if my results came in. Hold on. For some reason, it's not. Here we go. I'm going to go check now. Make sure this isn't on screen. Oh, they're in. It finally came in. My MRI report came in. Here we go. I got the report. You guys ready? I've been waiting for this. I checked this probably like fucking 20 times in the last 48 hours. And it actually came up while we were live. So let's see. Where'd it go? Oh, hold on. I lost it. Okay. History, neck pain. There are no prior relevant studies available. Technique, MRI. Findings. The vertebral bodies are normally aligned. The vertebral body heights are preserved. The signal from the marrow is unremarkable, without evidence for acute fracture or a suspicious marrow-replacing lesion. The visualized posterior fossa, F-O-S-S-A, and cervical spinal cord are normal in signal. So my C2, C3, there are no significant disc abnormalities, neural foraminal narrowing, or spinal canal stenosis identified. C3, C4, there is no significant disc abnormality, neural foraminal, am I saying that right? Foraminal, narrowing or spinal. C4, C5, there's mild. Okay, here we go. In my C4 and C5, there is a mild central disc herniation which abuts the ventral cord. The fuck does that mean? Hold on, now I gotta look this up. Ventral cord. What does it mean if a disc abuts the ventral cord? What does that mean? If your imaging results show that a disc abuts a ventral cord, it means an intervertebral disc is touching the side of the spinal cord. However, this simply means it makes contact. There is no severe pressure or flattening being applied yet. Uh-oh. While abutment is often a normal finding due to natural aging, wear and tear, a mild disc bulging, you should monitor any new neurological changes. Huh. Interesting. Okay. All right, let's continue on here. C5, C6, there is a mild disc bulge. That's all it says. Oh, here we go. My C6, C7, there's a disc bulge with superimposed left paracentral to lateral disc herniation. There is left greater than right uncovertebral hypertrophy. Oh my God, what does that mean? See, this is why I got to see the specialist tomorrow. I don't know what that means. There is moderate to severe left neural foraminal narrowing. There is mild right neural foraminal narrowing. And then my C7 to T1, there is no significant disc abnormality. Okay, so everything's normal there. So the conclusion The conclusion is at C6-7, there's a disc bulge with a superimposed left perinatal or lateral disc herniation. Okay, so they just repeated it. What the fuck does that mean? I'm going to have to talk to ChatGPT. That doesn't sound good. I ain't going to lie. That doesn't sound good. Like the C6, C7 area doesn't sound very good. I didn't realize my C4 and C5 were a little bit messed up too. See what happens? Sony just fucked my discs all up. PlayStation has taken the disc removal too far, bro. The amount of disc jokes. Shadowlink, you're saying, how's your pain level been lately? Seems at a glance to have less pain lately. It's all over the place, to be honest. Some days I feel okay, and I'm like, okay, this isn't nearly as bad. Yesterday I was in a ton of pain. I'm gonna have to sit soon because I'm in pain. I'm gonna have to hold on, let me do something real quick. All right. Sorry about that. All right, let me come back to the chat here. MBG treatment for a bulging disc in your back usually starts with non-surgical conservative care. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I guess the MRI confirms I have it sounds like a pretty, I don't know, how did they word it? Did they say mild or moderate? Let me see. They said, they didn't say, they said there's a disc bulge with a superimposed left paracentral lateral disc. I'm going to have to like put this into Chat GPT and ask what the fuck this means. Like, I don't know if that means it's a severe bulge. I don't know if that means it's severe or if I'll tell you what, I'd be surprised if it wasn't severe. The amount of pain that I've been in, I'm like, I don't think this is just some normal fucking herniated disc. Sure doesn't feel like it. But yeah, I don't know. The thing I'm most curious about is when I talk to the neurosurgeon, whatever it is at my C6, C7, I'm going to be curious to know, like, is this something that can heal on its own? Does it seem like there's a good chance it will, or is this one of those things where it's like, it's unlikely and you're probably going to need surgery at some point? I mean, I know disc herniations can heal, but this must be pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, I read the MRI results and you know what? This is going to be problematic because it said with the MRI results, it said my C4 and my C5 are like touching my spinal cord. But from what the MRI saw, it wasn't necessarily being compressed. But here's where I'm getting messed up with this. Like, I've been talking to you guys about how I've been having these like bouts of dizziness and just randomly like getting like vertigo and lightheadedness. And it started a couple weeks ago. That can be caused by the pinching of your spinal cord. I'm like, well, okay, so I'm laying down in a machine. I have no pain. I'm laying completely flat. That's what the MRI is seeing. How do I know it's not being pinched when I'm standing up? Because I don't get dizzy when I'm laying down. I don't know. This is... what a nightmare. What a nightmare. Sorry. Yeah, just turned into nothing relating to video games. But I've been dying to. I'm going to be really curious to see what the neurosurgeon says tomorrow. For sure. Have a little bit of anxiety. All right, hold on one sec. Give me one more second, guys. Human body is complicated AF. It is. Irvin, you're saying read my last. Sony's decision, or hold on, did I miss a super chat? I think I may miss a super chat. Zombie Dragon, yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. Zombie Dragon dropped a super chat, and he says, there is an inverse to your prediction. What about a $650 PS6? I think it would say light, all digital. I think everyone will go for it. Maybe. But I don't know. I mean, I think a 650 PS6, digital or not, everybody would go for it. That sounds like a godsend, but by this point, which is crazy, but that's where we are. Irvin, you're saying Sony's decision is not implemented now because they're still making profit from discs. Doesn't that indicate Sony expects the digital physical gap to become even smaller by 2028? They have forecasts. I mean, that's why I'm saying it would be comical if, like, they're hoping that with this announcement, people just now convert to digital. Like, people who are holding out, they're going to be like, I'm going to go to digital now. What if it was the opposite? Now, more than ever, people are buying physical. I don't know. I mean, Sony could be testing us that way. They could be basically testing us like, well, if you guys really want physical, then you'll all start buying physical now, right? But GTA kind of messes that up, doesn't it? Yeah, that's true, Kyle. That's true. You're saying it's curable. At least it's not like cancer. Yeah, that's true. I'm just nervous about the possibility of surgery because if I do have to get surgery, it's on my neck. It's on my my cervical spine. Like, it's going to be serious surgery, and it's going to take me out for a while. And I get nervous and shit. Like, you hear stories about people where there's complications, or because they're working around your neck, like you can't swallow for like weeks. With some people, like their body like doesn't adjust. I don't know. I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I've just been in pain for so long at this point. It's like I'm desperate. I am kind of desperate. It's like whatever I got to do, but can't say. It's like the saying goes. Like, sometimes it's got to get worse before it gets better. And I'm just trying to figure out if that's the situation I'm in or not. But the pain is constant. Like, even right now, I have pain here. I have pain all in my neck. It's going down my arm. I think I'm almost kind of getting used to the pain at this point, where like it just doesn't affect me as much. It's like one of those things where I can't tell, is my body getting better, or is my brain just adapting to the pain? But I'll tell you this too. Yesterday, I haven't really been working out, but I wanted to test my tricep strength yesterday because that's what's being affected right now. My tricep is weak. So I took a 15-pound dumbbell, I lay flat, and I'm like, all right, let's see how many reps I can do tricep extensions. And I'm doing them. And dude, I had to fight to do 10 reps. By the 10th rep, this is with 15 pounds, I'm like, I'm at failure. I can't move anymore. I put the dumbbell on my right arm. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh my God, like my strength is not getting better. Pain receptors actually burn out. Damn. Well, I'll tell you what, my lack of strength in my tricep, it's not improving. So it tells me that I don't think it's getting better. It's been months, and my strength is just kind of depleted. It's not that it's depleted. It's just that this. So for people who don't know, like if you have a nerve compression, depending on which nerve is compressed, like the signal's not being sent. So it's not that like my muscles literally weak. It's that the signals that are necessary to occur from the, from the spinal cord to the muscle and all the nerves, it's just the signals are not there. So therefore the strength isn't going to be there. It's crazy. The human body's a crazy thing, man. The nervous system is a crazy thing. It really is. There are times in life a little rain must fall. However, April showers bring May flowers. Thank you, Shadowling. Shadowling's trying to cheer me up. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just when you thought it couldn't get worse. Look at what Sony does with the discs. What are they doing to me? They're like, oh, MBG's in his weakened state. Now we do it. Come on, man. There's no way PlayStation just delayed the fight stick. You're trolling me. You're fucking with me. Dude, that would be so funny. Oh my God. Oh my God, you're right. It's delayed indefinitely. What? What the fuck went wrong? We're winning. This isn't what we were trying to achieve. Sony's getting the wrong message. They're like, sir, I don't think they like the fight stick. All they've been doing is clowning our fight stick. It's like, it's not the fight stick. It's because it's physical. Holy shit. What is happening at Sony PlayStation, dude? Let me see. I think they officially announced it with a... PlayStation announces update on the Flex Strike wireless fight stick launch timing. Let me see what they say on the PlayStation blog. Update. We wanted to share an update on the launch timing for the Flex Strike wireless fight stick. Due to unexpected production delays, Flex Strike wireless fight stick will launch at a later date. We will share an update soon. We're working to ensure we deliver the best possible experience, taking a little extra time. Players who have pre-ordered the fight stick can check their order status through the website. All right, hold on. I want to say, I want to clown on Sony and say something funny. I don't know if this is clever, though. I was like, digital only fight stick incoming. Is that fun? I don't know. This is like one of those things I can't tell if that's actually, I don't think, is that funny? I don't think that's funny. Would it just be funnier to say, I think Sony got the wrong message? I feel like that's the funniest thing to say. I'm going to say that. They got the wrong message, bro. They remove discs. Your spinal discs get messed up. They remove the fight stick. Does that mean you'll have erectile dysfunction now? Oh. What? What are you doing? Oh, boy. What? Like, this just feels like a joke. An update. Motherfucker. You know what? Now I'm mad. Now I'm actually mad. We got an update on the fight stick. before we got an update on the fucking disc situation. This is depressing. Well, this is going to light the fire so hard this week. Oh, man. All right. Sorry. I legitimately thought that was a joke when you said they delayed the fight stick. I for real thought that was a joke. Cancel PS Plus is trending. Okay. Wow. Still going. Fuck. All right. Well, I asked Mrs. MBG to take my findings of my MRI and, ask ChatGPT what it all means because it's hard to really understand a lot of it. And obviously this is just what ChatGPT is saying. My neurosurgeon tomorrow could say something completely different, but it seems like according to the MRI results, there's a really good chance I'm going to need to get a disc replacement surgery for my C6, C7. It seems unlikely based on what ChatGPT is saying. It's not possible, but it seems unlikely that it's going to heal on its own. I'm not surprised if I won't be surprised if that's exactly what the doctor says tomorrow. Cause I've been telling you guys, dude, it feels like something exploded in my neck. Like something just feels so wrong. It ain't right at all. Like it's just totally fucked. It's FUBAR, The good news is this though. Here's the good news. If that is what I need, if that's all I need, apparently that surgery isn't too bad. They'll if that's what I need, they'll cut here. And it's crazy if you ever looked into it. Like they cut you here and they move everything over on your neck and they literally they take out the old disc, clear out all the shit. They create a little bit of space in your vertebrae and they put the fake disc in, and I forget what they do to hold it in place. I don't know if they screw it or maybe they do, but I think they probably screw it in somehow. And then they put your stuff back and then they close you back up. And then you're just recovering from that point. Still a physical disc, bro. Yeah. Dude, how crazy is that? I'm going to need potentially a disc replacement surgery with this news of the disc going away. An explosion in my neck. Well, they'll use titanium screws like normal, but in your body. Thanks, Titus. That you really know how to make it sound not scary. Oh man, fuck. Yeah, I don't know, man. I had a feeling. I kind of had a feeling. I'm like, bro, I'm approaching 3 months with no improvement. Oh no. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna be able to stream. How long am I gonna be gone from streaming? I'm gonna need to fucking GoFundMe. Sony took my disc. Help fund MBG's disc. Oh. All right. My disc drive replacement surgery. You know what? I'll tell you this, though, man. If I do end up having to get surgery, and that's just how it goes, it will be very nice if when I come out the other end of it, when this, hopefully one day, this, whenever it is, this pain will be gone. This pain has quite literally driven me to madness. So there is that. There is that. Yeah, apparently a lot of people who get that surgery, like it's really not that bad. It's better. It's less intense than what do they do? There's like the fusion surgery where they like fuse your spine together. I think that's the more intense one. But Kyle Say Stuff with a $5 chat says, is it tough because USA healthcare money, or is it your insurance can cover it? I had major surgery here in London, but it's all free. Either way, best of luck. Actually, I don't even know. I wasn't even thinking about that side of it. I mean, I'm jumping to conclusions. I got to see what the doctor says tomorrow. The last time I saw the neurosurgeon, it was a couple months ago. She was saying like we want to avoid surgery at all costs. But the fact that my muscle weakness is not going away, that they might want to expedite it because nerve damage can become permanent. So like if it were to stay this way long enough, basically my muscle will stay weak like that forever. And the pain might stay here forever. I don't know. It's the human body's complicated when it comes to this shit. I mean, it's complicated generally speaking, but for me, the thing that I would be, we pay for our health insurance. So Mrs. MEG says with all her medical BS, we've met our yearly deductible. My only concern if I have to get surgery would literally be how long I can't stream for. Because I have to stream multiple times on a weekly basis to keep this thing going, So I don't know. I don't have confirmation of anything yet. I got to talk to the doctor tomorrow. We'll see what they say. I'm going to laugh when they're like, yeah, we're going to do surgery next week. How's that sound? It's like, I guess I would take it. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she'll say like, we'll give it time. She's going to be upset with me because she originally sent me to PT, and I never went to physical therapy because I'm like, I can tell you physical therapy ain't going to help this shit. I've been doing my own physical therapy. It ain't doing jack all, Not I don't know better than a doctor, but it's just like I'm just saying like I know my body. I'm like the physical therapy is not going to help this. Stream from the hospital. You have a private room. The problem is I might not be able to talk. That's the problem. But disc jokes aside, does sound serious and shit. I mean, I don't know. It feels like it is, and it also feels like it isn't. Like apparently, I don't know. Neurosurgeons, they do this shit all the time. Neurosurgeons probably do like thousands. They do like 1,000 disc replacement surgeries a year. Maybe not 1,000, but a lot. They do a lot. So it's like nothing new. But yeah, surgery, man. I mean, anytime you're getting surgery, your body's getting cut open. You're going under anesthesia. You're getting all fucked up. All fucked up. Your body is in, state of shock for a while. I mean, I remember a couple years ago when I had to get my, they knocked me out to surgically remove my my wisdom teeth that were impacted up top, but then they also had to remove 2 other teeth that were infected. I was all fucked up. I'll never forget that. I was seeing triple. They sent me out too soon. They just kicked me out. I'm still on all the drugs I don't know what the fuck they gave me, but I was I was seeing like quadruple, and my mouth was all packed, and Mrs. MBG and her mom were like we were driving home, and I remember I was trying to fight it, dude. I was like getting all pissed off. And I'm like, like there was something on my head. I was like trying to like fight. I'm like trying to fight it, get it off my fucking head. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. Stream from the surgery table. I'll ask them, can you just stream my surgery? Do what the doctors say. Damage from the brain and spine is permanent. Yeah, I know. Well, it's definitely stressful, but I think what I'm just surprised about, to be honest, and I know this sounds a little bit woe is me, and I'm not trying to make it sound that way because it could be much worse, but I'm just like, dude, what did I do? Like it's one of these things where like if I lived a more reckless lifestyle and I was doing like extreme sports or something, or just sports at all, like if I was like much more active and risky, and it's like this would make sense. It's like I cleared out my basement and my garage, and it's like, yep, that's it. That's all you needed to do. Now you're permanently fucked up. And I'm like, okay. So all these years when I'm like, I don't want to deal with my basement, I don't want to deal with my garage, it was something from above. The universe was telling me, my intuition was telling me, don't bother with it. And I'm like, nah, come on. It's been over a decade. I got to get around to it sometimes. Like, we tried to warn you. We tried to tell you. See what happens? Kyle, say stuff. You're saying in the UK, we only do local anesthesia for wisdom teeth. Ooh. I'll never understand why USA do full anesthesia. It's not healthy at all, but maybe culture different. I think with me, they didn't want to deal with my shit, if I'm being honest. Because I am petrified of the dentist. I had a lot of very, very traumatic experiences with dentists growing up. And as an adult, it's like I'm like walking into the office, I'm like sweating bullets. I'm like very clearly like about to have a panic attack, and I'm trying like real hard to keep it together. And they're like, we're just going to knock you out. And I'm glad they did, because it's like, even though I was all messed up afterwards, I'm just glad that it's like I went to sleep. It's like no time passed. And then I was messed up when I woke up, but I'm glad they did it that way, because I'm like, ain't no shot. It's like, just knock me out. It's going to be easier for everybody. I can't handle this. And so, yeah, I have yet to get over my fear of the dentist office, dude. I can't stand it. The sound of the drill. I'm starting to sweat now. All right. It was Herman Hulst, bro. Herman Hulst did this to me. How dare he? God damn it. I don't even know what to talk about now. Irfan, you're saying you also need surgery? Both of your feet are completely flat. I almost read that as fat. Both of my feet are fat. They're flat. And even with orthopedic shoes, I can only walk for about half an hour. I can drive for an hour maximum. After that, I'll have back pain. Damn. He's got that flat feet syndrome. I don't know if that's actually what it's called. But, yeah. I'm telling you, man. Whoever designed this simulation, whoever designed it, God, I don't know. Whoever did, I don't know that I call it perfect. You know? I think I'd call it far from perfect. Like we got some problems here. Concord took out my spinal cord. I had surgery on my shoulder 4 weeks ago. I find out on Thursday if I need another one on my stomach. Damn. Well, Yoltz has been dealing with it too. MBG Gangsta Army is all fucked up right now with medical conditions. What's happening, boys? I know. This is why Sony. This is why they decided to strike when they did, because they're weak. They're weak and fragile right now. They're in a fallen state. Even Rich Rod ain't here today. It's looking spooky out here, guys. But we're not going to quit. We're not going to give up. We'll do what we got to do. Oh, man. MBG, some people don't smoke and still have lung cancer. Some people smoke their whole life and are completely healthy. Most of the time, it's just luck and your genes, man. Might not be your fault. Yeah, and that's very true. Yeah, and it could be worse. Like, I'm trying to be, I don't know, as optimistic as I can. But it does seem like that, doesn't it? It just seems like so much of it is like just luck of the draw. Stay strong. I'll try. My nickname is Buzzer. Everyone calls me, but my name's Liam. Liam. What 5090 are you going to get? Stop it. I'm not ready yet. Don't force me. It has to happen naturally. Stop pressuring me. Liam from the UK. Oh, by the way, Critical Smoker dropped a I'm 22 minutes late to this, but Critical Smoker dropped a $1 direct donation. Thank you for that, Critical Smoker. Yeah, appreciate the support, guys. Sorry, I know I got totally derailed. Optimistic while eating clean helps you heal faster. I mean, look, if I find out, Shadowlink, it's like if you eat clean for the next year, your injury will heal. I would do it. But I know it helps. Eating clean can only help you. So I'm just going to start smoking and drinking instead. I'm going to eat clean, but I'm going to smoke and drink. How about that? I'm kidding. Mostly. I'm mostly kidding. All right. Ah, geez. Now I'm gonna have it like immense anxiety until tomorrow. Now, got knocked out of the stream. What the hell, Irfin? They're trying to get you too, man. They're trying to get you too to like get him out of here. Shadowlink's like, I'll never stop. I got your health in mind. It does nothing for me, but it does for you and your family. I appreciate that, Shadowlink. I know. You're a good guy, man. I appreciate it. Shadowlink cares. He cares. I know a lot of you guys do. I appreciate it. I just have to, I just have to get through whatever I got to get through. And, my hope is that it won't take too long. It's going to be really nice to, whenever I get to the point where it's like to be able to work out again. My mental health has definitely taken a hit for sure because I haven't been able to do the things. Like I haven't been able to drum, I haven't been able to, which is ironic because I got these drums this year. It's like I can't even do it properly without causing pain, can't work out. It is debilitating. This is where it's like, if the doctor leaves it up to me, it's like, you don't have to get surgery, but how are you? It's like, I'm kind of debilitated. I feel like I got no choice here, Oh yeah, Irfin. So yeah, I don't think we're going to stream too much longer only because I don't know. I am willing to keep it at a shorter stream length today. So I can just worry about what I got to do tomorrow and then take it from there. But Irfin, you sent me a song. Let me see. I think I have it here. Did you play this on guitar? Thank you, Titus. I appreciate that. Horizon Zero Discs. This is going to be... Oh. Is it... Irfin, is this original? If this is a song, I don't recognize it. If this is like a cover, I don't recognize it. It's improvisation. It's good, dude. I like it. I'm feeling it. That's really good, yeah. I love the melody. Oh, fuck. Whoa, whoa, whoa. got like Buckethead over here, bro. What? Yeah, dude. That's good. That's good. 30-second notes. This is bringing peace to my soul. Temporary peace. This MBG bass now. This is true art. Sony can never take this from us. Yeah. It's harder to play fast on a acoustic guitar than electric. That's very true. Yeah, Game Sharper, I'll play yours next. Damn, bro, this is like got some Sound Hill ass vibes. That was great. That was great.
Holy shit.
I enjoyed that. Is that the Gerudo Valley theme from Legend of Zelda inspired Ocarina of Time? And we have a super chat from Zanarkhan. He says, MBG, please check out at Raven Gaming Forge Tech. Expert suggests PlayStation swap physical PS5 discs for 3D NAND cartridges, notebook check. Let me see. And Titus, Sergio, our good friend, he drops a $5 direct donation. He says, really nice track, Irfan. MBG, I hope your appointment tomorrow will be fine. I hope so too, man. And yes, that was a great track from Irfan. Irfan, I think that was the best one so far, dude. That was a good one. I'm about to, you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to make that the music that plays for my intro. Because it's like, it's got a positive vibe to it, but it's not like overly, you know what I'm saying? It's just got this like kind of nice feel to it. I don't know how to explain it. Just feels nice. Makes me feel nice. Thank you for that, Irfan. And thank you, Titus. I'm hoping, I don't know, man. I asked ChatGPT with my MRI results, and it's like, it seems like you're going to need surgery. But I'll know for sure tomorrow. This is going to make you feel angry. All right, hold on. Let me check what Zanarkhan said real quick. Nope. Tech expert suggests PlayStation swap physical PS5 discs for 3D NAND cartridges. PS6 cartridges. Sony could employ a cartridge that maxes out at 1 terabyte, more than enough for PS5 and PS6 games. But, I mean, like, it's an interesting thought, but I'm pretty sure Sony won't do that. You know? I'm pretty sure Sony won't do that because it's like, that sounds extremely expensive for them. And I think one of the biggest reasons they're doing this is to cut costs. I feel like this would add a lot of costs. You know what I mean? Yeah. A 64 gigabyte cartridge is $16 to produce. Yeah. I don't see Sony going that direction. This is why they're like, we're just going to go digital. I just realized I was saying that guy's name wrong. What I was saying, I was calling him Yoltz. I was saying it totally wrong. I'm sorry. His name's Liam. All right, let's see. Gaming Survivor. Guys, listen, by the way, if you want to drop any more support, if you want to become a member, drop any more gifts. We hit 31 today. If you want to increase that. Yo, it's Buzz. Yeah, I was calling you Yoltz. Yoltz Buzz. Yoltz Buzz. God, I'm stupid sometimes. But yeah, if you want to drop any more member gifts, super chats, direct donations, now is the time to do it because we're going to play this song from Gaming Survivor, and I think we're going to wrap it up today. And I think that'll be it. There are definitely other topics I want to talk about, but I think today we're just kind of cooked with that. Shadow Link comes in, does a micro shadow drop for you guys, little shadow drop. Shadow Link, I almost just called you Shadow Drop. He drops 5 more member gifts for you guys and takes us to 36 on the day. So Shadow, thank you for that, man. Let me see, which soundbite should I give Shadow Link? Why can't I remember what this soundbite is? Oh, here we go. Yeah. All aboard! How could I forget? How could I forget? Thank you. Really appreciate the support, guys. I was talking to you earlier in the beginning of the month about members content. Everything's a little bit thrown off right now. So, you know, rather than making promises that I can't keep because I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, obviously this whole announcement of Sony ending discs really threw everything for a loop here, a loop de loop. We're still recovering from, but now I got to figure out what's going on my neck. So what I'll say is eventually we are going to get back to members content. I can't promise when. I have no idea, but I do just want you guys to at the very least know that I'm not planning on slapping. I didn't want to slap. You know, I would like to eventually get to a place where I can do members lounges again or something. I just have to admit that this whole thing with my neck has made it very difficult for me to stream for longer periods of time. I've definitely noticed that over the months where like anytime I stream for like 3.5, 4.5 hours, like on Sunday, I did like a 5-hour stream and I shouldn't have done that. I didn't mean to, but I was fucked up after that. I'm like, I can't even move, you know, I was in so much pain. I was feeling it the next day. So God, you don't know what you got till it's gone. I used to be able to just stream for 5 hours like it was nothing. The worst thing I felt after a 5-hour stream was tired. Now I feel like I just want to get knocked the fuck out. All right, let's play the song. Thank you, Yoltz. I'm glad you guys like the streams. All right, let's check this song out from... is it Ashes on the Box? That's the one, right?
Black suit talk, white smoke in the room. Xbox buckling under all that bad news doom. Phil got the boot, now the floor got cracks. Layoff talk creeping through the cubicles and stacks. I should have ashes. Sharma coming for the throat. Grim Reaper grin while the whole ship floats. Stotches little higher, all shining, no spine. Slopey in the teller, now the joke's online. Clock keep ticking, names keep dropping. Head stay spineless, cash keep stopping. Soul in the ledger, cold in the pain. One more quarter, same old pain.
Xbox burning down.
Xbox burning down.
Welfare pass drowning.
No way. He dropped the welfare pass line.
Halo lost its crown.
Halo lost its crown.
No one buying now.
No one buying now. Todd Howard wide-eyed, like he heard the siren. Hands in the pockets, pants got him lying. Bethesda a has-been, tired old tale. Dust on the logo when the numbers go pale. ABK bleed people off his doors slam. Big talk, small wins, all part of the jam. IP week, they reach for a name, but every
Welfare past drowning. That's a diabolical line. Holy shit. Welfare pass. Y'all crazy.
Piano hit like a verdict, room goes still. Everybody rich till the numbers turn ill. From the top to the basement, feel that chill when the brand go hollow. Who pays the bill?
Xbox burning down.
Xbox burning down.
Welfare past drowning.
Welfare past drowning.
Halo lost
What's this
its
called? This is
Halo lost
called
its
Ashes on the Box
No one
by
buying
Gaming Survivor.
crown. No one buying now.
Gaming Survivor made this. On was it Suno? Sono? How do you say it? Well, there we go. Gaming Survivor couldn't help himself. Still got to talk about. Whoa! I don't know what that was. Shit just got crazy for a second. Well, there you go. Yo, it's Buzz. I got you, man. Well, guys, this will be a good place to wrap up today's stream. I don't want to push it too hard. I did put out a video earlier if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, before I head out, I want to let you know Ray just dropped the Discord link in the chat. So if you guys want to join the MBG community Discord, I am over there. But I don't necessarily run it. I mean, I can run it if I want to, but you know, I'm just there occasionally. Feel free to join it. All right. A lot of you guys like to converse and hang out over there. Shems, you did it again, Shems. Why do you keep doing this? Why do you enter my stream when I'm in my outro? He says, "Fuck Sony." Hello, by the way. Agreed, but I'm departing. I'm so sorry, Shems. You have to come back and watch the replay. All right, or the video on demand. The VOD. But yeah, feel free to join the Discord, guys. You don't have to be a member to join it. I just ask you to, be polite and, be nice to each other. But before I go, I want to make sure to thank everybody for their support. There's a really, really high chance there won't be any content tomorrow because I have my appointment and, I don't know how that's going to go. If I'm able to, if I'm feeling up to it, though, I might be able to do a later stream. So just be on the lookout for that. I might be able to do a later stream tomorrow. We'll see. But if I can't, I'll certainly be back here on Thursday. But I want to thank everybody for your support. If you guys dropped any support, any memberships, if you became a member, super chats, direct donations, thank you all so much for that. I can only do what I do here because of you guys, because you make it possible, and you guys keep it fan-funded. So really, really appreciate that. Couldn't do it without you. Also want to make sure to shout out Devil Shooter. Devil Shooter does the timestamps for the streams. He does a great job with them. So if you see him in the comments with those timestamps, show him some love, give him some thanks. I know he appreciates it. Devil Shooter, thank you for what you do, man. And that's it. Like I said, I put out a news video. You can check that out if you want to support the channel further. And all I'm going to ask you to do at this point is hit the like button as you are heading out. All right. But that's it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or night. I look forward to updating you, next time I see you. And that'll be that. All right, guys. So till then, take care, everyone.